That is the Health Link. And on this platform, we talk about health issues. So, lovely viewers, welcome to First Baptist Church. That is the Health Link. And on this platform, we talk about health issues. We tell you about the disease condition, the signs, the causes, the prevention, and then the management. I hope if you follow us on this platform, you are going to learn a lot and it's going to help you. Our slogan still holds, your health is your wealth. If you take very good care of your health, I assure you, your wealth will also improve. Last week, we talked about healthy living, and then this week we are continuing with stress management. When we talk about stress, I hope you all know that one way or the other, we are all going through a lot of stress. Name it. Is it financial? Is it physical, emotional? There are a lot of stresses we go through. So this evening, with me, with my guest, we are going to talk about how we can manage our stress so that it wouldn't cause much problem to us. With me is my beautiful nurse, Miss Marvelous Ajao. Auntie Mavi, welcome.
Thank you.
I hope you had a wonderful week.
I did.
Lovely viewers, before I even go on, today is our sister's birthday. It's her birthday. Auntie Mavi, happy birthday.
Thank you.
We wish you long life in good health. And then amen to all your secret prayers in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Coming back to our program for this evening, stress management. Auntie Mavi, what is stress?
Okay, so stress is any change that causes physical, emotional, or psychological strain. So anything that puts strain on you emotionally, physically, or financially is what we term as stress. Now, when we talk about stress, as our host already said, everyone experiences stress in one way or the other. And what is important is how we can manage it. Now, stress becomes really bad, especially when we cannot manage it, or especially when we make it go to the extreme. Then it becomes bad for our health.
Oh, okay. So what are some of the signs? How would I know that, okay, I am stressed up? How would I know? What are some of the signs that will make me know that I'm stressed? And some of the symptoms that I'll experience that will make me know that I'm really under stress?
Okay, so the under categories. I'll talk about the physical symptoms first. We have aches and pains. Sometimes you notice that your head aches. You notice that you are having pains in one part of your body or the other. That could be one of the signs and symptoms of stress. Last week, as we pointed out, we said it's not always when you have a headache or something that tells that you are sick. It could just be as a result of too much stress. Okay, and also constipation, diarrhea. Now, some people would wonder, how can stress cause constipation? How can stress cause diarrhea? It actually happens. Some people, when they are stressed, you see them every time they are going to the toilet. They have diarrhea. They have their stomachs are running. And some people too, they have stress. They are so stressed to the extent that even to void is a problem.
Wow.
Yes.
And even with the constipation, I think when some people are stressed, they don't really take care of their health. They won't even take in enough fibers because they are stressed and they can't take control of what is happening around them. So therefore, they will become constipated. Okay.
Okay, then we can talk about dizziness rather. I don't know if you've experienced it before, because I know me personally, I've experienced it before. You are so stressed to the extent that your brain is even tired. Next thing you know, you're just so dizzy. It's like the whole world is just spinning and spinning and spinning. So that is another sign that can tell you that, okay, so you are being stressed. And then again, we can talk about, as I said, pain. This time, let's talk about chest pain. Like sometimes you are so stressed that you feel like, ish, I say, makoma, and something like that. Sometimes I am cry. It's like it's so much that the pain in your chest, you even think, say, hey, am I having a heart attack or something? Well, stress can actually cause heart attacks.
Especially those with broken heart. For them, that they have the chest.
It's like they'll tell you their their heart is ripping out of their chest. It also can be as a result of stress. Let's talk about emotional signs and symptoms. Depression. As our host said, broken heart. Someone can get broken heart, and before you know it, the person has become depressed. Hey, that you see the person always moody, the person keeping to himself or herself. Stress. So, depression is a sign, is a symptom of stress. And then again, anxiety. When you are stressed, everything makes you anxious. Like, what's going to be the outcome of this? What's going to be the outcome of that? When you feel like the anxiety is becoming too much, you should know that stress is setting in. We also talk about moodiness, irritability. Okay, so when we talk about moodiness or irritability, any little thing someone does to you, it gets you angry. Any little thing, it's because you are stressed, you just don't know, you become moody. If you were the lively type before, next thing you know, somebody just does something that he or she does to you every time. And this time alone, the person does it and then you get angry. The person does it and then you shun the person, kind of. So that could also be a sign and symptom of stress. So you should know that when you're not yourself, when you easily become annoyed, stress is setting in. And then we will talk about loneliness, isolation. Now, when you see someone who used to be sociable, now keeping to himself or herself, or you yourself, you notice that, no, this isn't how I used to be before. You should check within yourself and see if you are stressed.
And that is very dangerous, the loneliness aspect.
Okay, and it could also lead to other mental illnesses. There are a lot of them, which is as a result of stress. So sometimes when you see you are having some mental problems, you should have yourself checked. It could be as a result of stress. And then we'll talk about cognitive symptoms like memory loss. Sometimes, do you know stress can even lead to memory loss? You're so stressed to the extent that it affects your brain. Before you know it, you just black out. You just black out, and before you know it, you forget certain things, and you forget certain events and all. It happens. And then again, poor judgment. When you're so stressed, you don't even, sometimes, I don't know if you've experienced it, but sometimes you're so stressed, you don't even know if you should go left, if you should go right, if you should do this, if you shouldn't do it. And then poor judgment. Maybe this isn't what you were supposed to do, but because you are so stressed, your brain is so tired, you go ahead and make the wrong decision. So poor judgment. Seeing only the negative. This is pessimism. It's like, you dear, even if people try to encourage you, tell you that, oh, it's going to be better. Oh, no. Because you are so stressed, because you are so tired, next thing you know, maybe it will not work. You write an exam, and then you are so stressed during the exam. And then even after the exam, you are so anxious, you feel like you didn't do it well. Before you know it, oh, this one they have already failed. Someone will tell you, but I saw you writing, you learned, so trust in yourself. But I go like, oh, this one, dear, I failed, I've already failed. Pessimism is not right. And then when you start feeling that way, you should know that it's as a result of stress. Okay, and constant worrying. When you are worrying plenty, even things that you're not supposed to worry about, you are worrying about it. That is stress.
So as our nurse just said, that means stress that we just overlook is a very serious thing, because if I heard you right, you made mention of memory loss. So if I get so stressed to the extent that I'm going to get memory loss, then viewers, please, let's take good care of our stress. Let's manage our stress well. Because the next time you know, you are at the psychiatric hospital, which I pray to God that none of us will experience that in the mighty name of Jesus. Okay, so you can go ahead.
Okay. And then we'll talk about behavioral symptoms. Behavioral symptoms like eating more or eating less. There are some people who have this condition, or shall I say, they find themselves in some situations where they are stressed and then they eat a lot. We even see them in movies sometimes. Someone is so stressed, someone is so has a lot of things going on, and before you know it, the person just finds solace, finds comfort in eating chocolate, ice cream, this, that, a lot of things. It's as a sign and symptom of stress.
I think with those people, they think eating will take away the stress. So by the time they realize the stress has also resulted in another condition.
Yeah. Okay, and then sleeping too little or too much. This one is even self-explanatory. Now, if you are worrying a lot, you have so many things stressing you, how exactly are you going to sleep at all? You will sleep less. And so that is another sign and symptom of stress. And then withdrawing from others. We've already talked about this. Like isolating yourself from people, being more reserved is as a result of stress. Wow. Yes. And then using alcohol, drugs. Some people, they went through broken hearts. They are so frustrated. Before you know it, they go to the bar. That is where they will find their consolation. They will drink and drink and drink. So now when you find out that your drinking habit is becoming excessive, or you are beginning to abuse drug, beginning to use drug as a means of calming yourself down, then you should know that, okay, stress has set in and you have to do something about it. Okay, so I think talking about the signs and symptoms, those are what I have for you tonight.
Okay, so right now, viewers, I hope you all know the signs and symptoms of stress. So if you find yourself in this category, please, I know very soon we talk about the management. Please listen and then do as we say. It's going to help us all. Aunt Mavi, so what causes the stress? What at all will cause someone to be stressed?
Okay, so in terms of the causes, I would like to group them in two categories, the internal and the external. I'll talk about the external first. So major life changes can cause stress. When I say major life changes, what do I mean? For instance, giving birth, getting pregnant and giving birth. You know that it comes with a lot of responsibilities, and before you know it, you make that stress sets in, and then if you don't take care, that stress becomes too much. And then major life changes like even getting married. No one,
very true.
Yes, no one can tell me that you're about getting married and then you are so relaxed. No, you'll be worrying about this, worrying about that. Hey, I have to do this, I have to do. If you don't calm down, the stress will set in and then it will be too much, it will be excessive.
And even after marriage, there's also stress because you are single. You used to do things without listening to anybody or even seeking the opinion of another person. Now you are married. It's not what you want again, the two of you. So if you are not careful and you don't go through certain things, you would be stressed all the time because you want to go left, your spouse wants it right. What do? If one doesn't calm down, there's going to be a problem. So I think it's going to.
Okay. And then I would also want to talk about work and school. Work, you at your workplace, there's a lot of workload on you. Your boss has given you this task. You have this other task. There are files piling up on your table. There's a lot for you to do. Too much of that will definitely cause stress. And then again, school. My students will know. It's not easy with school assignments. When exam is coming up, you have to make sure your GPA is good. You have to make sure you don't trail, you don't fail any paper, all those things. Before you know it, it will stress you and in fact overstress you. So that's another point. And then relationship difficulties, the broken hearts, and even being together, not agreeing about this, not agreeing about that, having different opinions, all those things. Before you know, you start thinking about it too much, and then before you know it, stress. So relationship difficulties. Then financial problems. Hey, this one, dear. Almost everybody experiences it. You need money for something. You need money to take home, to sustain the family, and then the money is not forthcoming. Before you know it, stress, too much thinking, drain. Before you know it, stress sets in. You stress yourself too much. So that could also be a cause of stress. And then being too busy. You are doing this, busybody, you are doing this, you are doing that, you are doing this, you are doing that. Now, I'm not saying that working is not good, but know how to control, exactly, know your limits. You don't exceed your limits. If you exceed your limits, there are a lot of repercussions about that. So know your limits, as our host said, and then don't overwork. Don't work too much. Don't busy yourself too much. Okay, children and family. Children and family. Children are a lot of stress. We all know that. Now, battling with children, battling with family, and then combining that with work, stress from work. There could be stress from work. Then you come home again, there's another stress. All of that can cause too much stress. So that is all for the external. Now, talking about the internal, we can talk about pessimism. I talked about it earlier. Now, you think negative about everything. You don't feel like anything positive can come out from what you do. That one would definitely bring about stress. Then, inability to accept uncertainty. Now, this one, it's like, definitely, life has its ups and downs. You cannot expect life to be full of roses. You can't expect life to be a bed of roses. Definitely, there are going to be disappointments here and there. You should just know how to handle those disappointments. Because if you don't know how to, before you know it, depression can set in. A lot of mental issues can even set in as a result of stress and the disappointment and all those things. So you should know how to handle disappointment sometimes. When you're able to do that, the stress, you know how to manage it, you know how to control it. And then unrealistic expectations. This one too is another thing. With that one, I don't know if our host will be able to give
unrealistic expectations. I think that one too causes a lot of stress. For instance, you are expecting that by the end of the year you should build a house. Meanwhile, your salary is 500 Ghana cedis. How possible is that? In reality, it's not possible. So you start stressing yourself. You start over-stressing yourself, working here and there. Meanwhile, even at the end of, you get to November and you realize that even the foundation, you are not there. And then the stress comes in from every angle. From every angle. Another way that there can be unrealistic expectation. You yourself, you know that your take home is 500 cedis. Yet, you are taking your child to a school that charges 2,000 per term. So, because you want your child to be good, how do you expect that to even be real? No, it's not real. The expectation is not real. You end up stressing yourself. If it gets to time for them to pay the fees, they'll start calling you. Hey, Mr. So-and-so, you haven't paid your walls fee. Please, we would let the child come home next week when you don't pay. and then you see you just be going helter-skelter, borrowing money here and there, just stressing yourself very about. So please, let's be realistic. If you don't have, we pray to God you have, but just face what you have at the moment, and then you are good to go.
And then lastly, there's something we call all or nothing attitude. It's either you have it all or nothing. As I said before, life is full of ups and downs. Life is not a bed of roses. So now if you feel like it's some sort of like you being a perfectionist, it has to be this way. It's either this way or nothing at all. It's either I have it this way or I don't have anything at all. Please, you cannot think that way. You should learn to accept certain things the way they are, and just know how to learn from them, and then probably make it better the next time. Okay.
The causes of stress. Please, as I said earlier on, if you fall under this, please, let's not get to the stage that you'd have mental problems as a result of your stress. Just listen to what we are saying and then do as such. So, Auntie Mavi, you've told us about what stress is, the signs, the symptoms, and then the causes. So right now, if I'm stressed up, what do I even have to do? I'm stressed. What do I have to do?
Okay, so that would be managing stress. The first thing I want to talk about is get moving. The first point I'll say is get moving. Now, what do I mean by get moving? Last week, when we talked about healthy lifestyle, we talked about exercising and how exercising can cause the releasing of some hormones called endorphins that relaxes people. Now, when you are relaxed, when you exercise a lot, it gives you this calmness. It takes away stress, and then it makes you happy. And then it also helps with distraction. Now, you can't tell me you are exercising or you are doing this, you are doing that, and you are still thinking about what is stressing you. No.
Seriously?
No. You will definitely be distracted. It will take your mind off certain things that are stressing you out. So learn to exercise. Learn to exercise. It's definitely going to calm you. And then again, connecting with others. This is very important. Connecting with others. Now, there are a lot of people who have things on their minds, and it's like it's so bottled up in there that the only thing that can actually help release that stress, that tension, is to tell other people about it. There are certain times that me personally, I've had issues that I felt like, oh no, this one day I shouldn't tell anybody. But finally, when I decided to open up to people, the way I felt relieved, the relief is going to be there once you have people you can talk to. So if you don't have people around you, people you can look up to, people you can talk to, please, I advise you do that, because it helps a lot. It helps a lot.
Talking about talking to people, please be careful about the people you talk to. Just know you are talking to the right person, because if you don't talk to the right person, that alone might even stress you more. Because if you talk to somebody who is a talkative or a gossiper, imagine you are telling the person your secret because you think you are stressed and you want to let some go, and the person end up spreading everything. When you hear it, if you are not careful, that's one will even aggravate the stress. So please, let's know our friends. Let's know who we are talking to. And if you know you don't even have anybody to talk to, please, let's talk to our pastors. And if I believe you all believe in our pastors. And if you don't want to talk to your pastor, then I think the last person is to talk to God. But I believe that our pastors will help.
Yes. Okay. And then another point is engaging our senses. When I talk about our senses, I mean sight, touch, taste, smell, all those things. You need to know which one works for you. There are some people, when they are stressed and they use their sense of hearing, they listen to music, it suits them, it calms them down. And there are some people too. Me, for instance, today I'm really using myself personally. I like the smell of coffee a lot. So there are some people, they smell certain things. It could be food, it could be anything, and then it takes their mind off a lot of things that are stressing them. So someone's own can be, for instance, if you have a pet, you are always playing with a pet like a dog. That alone is distracting you from all the things that are stressing you. You just need to know which one works for you. I can prefer listening to music as a form of releasing stress. It could not be the same for you. Yours could be smelling, as I said. So just know which one takes your mind off things and then adapt that thing. Okay. And then again, learn to relax. Learn to relax. And then with this point, I'll also add go on vacations. Go on vacations. Now,
Vacation? What is happening?
go on vacation. Now you can say, hey, Media, my work there, I cannot go on vacation or I don't have time. Now, you not having time and then being too busy is what is causing your stress. Is what is causing your stress. Learn to relax sometimes. Learn to know that, okay, now dear, my pim, I just have to take some time to relax. And then do so. Vacation. It's not like you go on vacation 1 year, 1 month. Well, 1 month is advisable, but then just know how your work is and know how you can adjust your time. Because relaxing
At least
is
even
good.
3 days or a week vacation, to
It's
me, it's
good.
okay.
Yes.
Let's not wait to say, oh, me, I want 1 month vacation. No. You might be stressed. You just need some 2-3 days off. So just relax. Please, let's do it. It's very, very important.
And as part of doing of relaxing too, you can, there are some relaxation techniques. Sometimes you just sit down and feel like it's too much for you. Close your eyes. Block all those things that are stressing you. Breathing exercises. You can decide to just breathe in deeply. Breathe out. Keep doing that. Before you know it, you just become calm. Yes. And then this point was mentioned last week too. Eating a healthy diet. Eating a healthy diet. Knowing the kinds of food to eat goes a long way to help release stress. Not overeating. Not eating too little too. Eating just the right amount of food. Eating the food or diet that has the right amount of nutrients. Those ones, stress comes from within. Let me put it that way. Now, if your body is healthy enough, when stresses comes your way, your body will know how to respond to it in a good way.
And I'll add up that when you are stressed up, instead of eating, please drink water instead. Because by the time you've eaten about 7 or 8 times a day because you are stressed up. You don't even remember you've eaten in the morning. You end up eating, and that time you don't get full. When you are stressed up, seriously, you don't get full. You keep on eating. So when you are stressed up, please make drinking water rather your habit instead of eating. I think that one will help very much.
Yes, that's true. And then last week too, we said that no amount of water is too much. Water is good. Drinking water is very good. So just keep drinking water. It also helps. And then my last point would be getting rest. Getting rest. Some people are so stressed to the extent that they can't even sleep. Why? My brother, why? My sister, why? Get time to sleep. Have enough. Have adequate sleep. That one would also help calm your brain, calm your mind down. So please have enough rest. As last week we said, 7 to 9 hours in between that. So it could be 7 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep, 9 hours of sleep. Just make sure you don't have like 5 hours of sleep. Even some people, especially when they have exams, you see they'll sleep like 2 hours, 3 hours, and you hear them bragging about it. It's not good. Before you know it, the day that you'll be writing exam and then you just black out, that is when you know. So learn to have the right amount or right hours of sleep, and it will go a long way to help you.
So sleeping is also very, very, very important. Auntie Mami, before we end up the show, so if I get stressed, what are some of the conditions that is associated, or what are some of the side effects when I get stressed up? I think you first mentioned of memory loss. So
Okay, and then I also made mention of this. Let me say it again. Depression. If you are stressed, if the stress there, it's supposed to be here and then it's here, you definitely get depressed. You definitely get depressed. Anxiety. Everything makes you anxious. Everything makes you anxious.
what about heart disease as well? Because I
Yes.
know if you don't control your stress, you might even end up getting some heart conditions.
Yes.
Please, lovely
Like-
viewers, let's listen to what we are saying, because stress, as we see it as little, can cause a lot of health problems. So, Aunt Mavi, any final words for us?
Oh, okay. So I would just like to say stress is normal. Now, when I say stress is normal, it doesn't mean, okay, so I'm having the signs and symptoms that Stamavi has mentioned, so it's normal. It's normal in the sense that it is the way your body responds to strain, as I said. But make sure you don't worry or you don't stress yourself too much. Know the signs and symptoms, and once you are experiencing those signs and symptoms, know how to deal with it, know how to manage it, know how to put it in control, and it will go a long way to help you.
Lovely viewers, I hope you have learned a lot, and henceforth we are going to manage our stress so that it wouldn't cause any problem to us. Auntie Mavi, thank you very much. Earlier on, I said something. I said it's our sister's birthday, and the multimedia team of First Baptist has a little surprise for our sister. So I'll call the multimedia team to bring in the surprise that we have for our nurse, Ms. Marvelous Ajao.